All right, what's happening? So I just wanted to go over something crappy that happened to me, and it can happen to you. It probably will happen to you. Why would I say that? Because it's happened to me two, three, at least two times that I can say for certain. And I call it the rogue wave. And right here, what you can see is you see this gap down, this big gap down right here. Well, that cost me a lot of money. And when we last talked, well, in my last video, I did okay. I made some money. So this right here pretty much wiped out all of my gains. So I was in the wrong position. I thought it was going to go up. And I even set stop losses. Yes, that's right. You can lose a lot of money if a rogue wave hits you, even with stop losses. It's not fair. That's that's basically all it is it's not fair. You're gonna scream, it's not fair. I set stop losses. I'm a conservative trader. Well, that's trading, and that is the rogue wave. Rogue waves, in my opinion, I just made that up. It's when something comes out of nowhere with a great deal of volume, and it happens so big and so fast that it just blows past your stop losses. So it knocked me all the way down, from I was like a few $100 up, all the way down to like $30. Right there, boom. So what that says to me is if you don't have a definite purpose, a reason to be trading, the time to be trading, if you don't know what trend you're in, don't be dicking around and be in trades, because you can just get wiped up out of nowhere. Anyway, my loss is your gain, and I'd love to say that this will never happen to me again. I hope that's right. I hope it never happens to you. But in the very first video, you saw me sitting on the beach, and I mentioned the rogue waves, and that happened to me. So I'm basically rebuilding. So that leads me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about. So my dad is no longer with us. And I think back to conversations we've had, over the years, my entire life. And so I think back to this story that he told me that is really applicable to what's going on right now. So back in the 80s, when I was a kid, he would play golf with his friends for $20 a hole. That's a lot of money to me today. So back in the 80s, that was big money. And if you know anything about golf, all right, so there's other things that go with golf: greenies, sandies, birdies, carryovers, which can triple, quadruple that $20 a hole. And so what was happening with him and his friends is, well, that was turning into what you would call hard feelings money. Arguments would ensue, like hard feelings would happen over these large amounts of money that were being exchanged and lost. Somebody's got to be losing that money, and so a friendly game, what it would seem to be on Sunday, well, come Monday, somebody might not be able to pay their car note. So, well, what did they do to fix that? What they did to fix that was they changed the play to $1 a hole with $1 carryovers, birdies, sandies, greenies, the whole thing. So even if that was doubled or tripled, it was fun money. It was not hard feelings money. Nobody was going to be put out if they just couldn't play a lick on Monday. They were going to be able to make their car note. So he said, Scott, we played just as hard for that $1 as we ever did for the 20. And we had more fun and, less arguments. And so that's what I'm taking with me and applying to this new trading experience, playing with this, you could call it chicken shit money, 20, 30 bucks. So, I mean, think about it. If I can't turn $30 into $40, what business do I have trying to turn $3,000 into $4,000 or $300 into $400? I've done it, but I've also been on the losing end too. So I would encourage you, if you've been losing and you think, all right, well, it's time to go ahead and load up another few $100s, consider. I know I've told you in the previous videos that we should do demo trading. And if you're thinking to yourself, I want to skip that shit, I want to go straight to making money, fine. Play with small amounts. Let's turn $30 into $40 and see if you don't have a ball doing it. I am. Ever since I got wiped out by the rogue wave, for some reason, I've just sort of taken this c'est la vie attitude and said, you know what? I'm just going to get into the process. I just want to do it right. And I am telling you, I am experiencing a super thrill just being up $12, $13. Why? Well, one, I took that $30 and reduced it down to like 15, but I've won it all back because it's making me trade correctly. And when I'm trading correctly and it's paying off and working out, I feel amazing. I feel just as amazing as being up hundreds of dollars. And I can say that with truthfulness because I've experienced it. And I want that for you. And well, that's why I'm making this video. I mean, there's nothing in it for me except, helping other people out there, and I get a kick out of that. So I just, I hope this is clicking for somebody. Play with chicken shit money and see what you do with it. And if you grow that chicken shit money into something substantial, well then, hey, I think we're ready to get out of the minor leagues and hit the big leagues. I think so many of us start in the big leagues and then we get wiped down and kicked down to the minors. So take that for what it's worth. I'm going to see what I can do with my little chicken shit amount of money, and I'll let you know and show you the process. All right, so here is another reference to what should be our guiding principle, and that is the trend is your friend. So this is the 1 hour chart right here, and in the previous trade, this is where it broke trend and we went up here. And it messed around and it creeped back down. So if our guiding principle is the trend is our friend, based upon this, it can no longer, this trend has been broken, this uptrend has been broken, and it's been creeping down. I mean, just with your eye, you can see it's going from here to here. So what I'm on the lookout for, so let's start the trend here. We're on the 1 hour chart. We got a higher high. We have a low right here, which your timing is fucking awesome. Thank you, Thoma. We have a higher high with a lower low. This trend is broken. But what do we have here? We now have a lower high, lower low, lower high that's not breaking this high yet, lower low that has broken this low. So that by definition is a downward trend. What do we have right here? Oh, we have a lower high. It has not broken this high, but right here, this is a higher low. It's breaking out right here, but you can see a change is happening because right now we have a it's not a higher high. It hasn't broken it yet, but what we do have is a higher low right here, and then kablamo. our trend has been officially broken right here. So what do we do about it? Well, we buy. And that's what I've done. And Thelma has decided that this is the time to come see me and say hello. I know. Oh no. No, oh no, oh no, oh no. At this phase, I am trading with the chicken shit money that I've been telling you about. By this principle of higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, right here. This is where things are starting to happen. But we don't know that this is a higher low until we see these moves, you see. And then, wait a minute. Okay, something's happening. All right, and so why, see, this is the 1 hour chart. Your guiding, well, my guiding principle, I don't want to tell you what you should do, but try not to be a bossy butt. 4 hour charting is pretty darn clean. That's because it's going to translate down to the lower time frames. The reason why these are my guiding principles is because they're harder trends to break. A lot of people look at the 5-minute chart, 1 minute chart. They break trend all the time. So if you're locked into that small time frame and just never zoom out to the larger time frame, you might not know what the hell trend you're in. So the larger time frame trends will always translate down to the smaller ones eventually. So when we broke trend on the 4 hour, oh, it's go time. It's game on. So I mean, I can tell you right now it's Sunday. So there's no trading right now. So I took this trade on Friday. I can tell you with almost 100% certainty on Monday, it's going to be an up day. The next goal for what's going on, the next goal for this chart is going to be right here. That's just almost certain because the markets are just, they're very OCD. Once they've touched something, they just got to touch it again. And there is, there's very few certainties on planet Earth. The only certainty, we got death and taxes and, the sun is going to rise tomorrow. These things are certain. In trading, we have possibilities and probabilities. And, it's possible it could just take a nosedive. It's probably going to go up here and touch this. It's possible that it could break through this. But it's pretty darn certain that it's going to touch this again. So that's why marking these events when a trend is broken, and plus also noticing we have history. This is not uncharted territory. Okay, you see? So this is all-time high. Will it reach it again? It could. I don't know if it's going to do it on this run, but it's pretty darn probable. It's almost for certain that it's going to get into this territory again. So therefore, that would be a buy for us. So just wanted to point that out to you. And of course, in my real world here is where I am currently. Cool. I told you I got wiped out to like 30 bucks. Blew half of that, and now I'm on this comeback. And I gotta tell you, I feel freaking awesome. I mean, in my head, I've just added like a couple zeros to this. So it's great fun doing this with the chicken shit money I was telling you about. I feel just as stoked as if it had a couple zeros attached to it, because now I'm so certain. Maybe I'll even throw some extra bucks in on it come Monday to get really right for what I am really darn certain it's going to do. There we go. Yeah. So on Friday, let me show you how I got in and what I was looking for, because I was either on my way to work or at work when I did it. Again, not taking anything away from my employer or my customers. You never want to be ripping those folks off. Cool. This is where we hopped in. I jumped the gun right here. You know, in my last trade, if you've been following my videos, I got in late. It was a flawed entry. I got in late and I chased it a little bit. It's, you know, it's rarely ever going to be perfect. What in your life is, right? So I actually got in a little bit early this time. I observed this creeping trend. I was awakened to the fact that I was pretty certain, again, I hate slinging that word around, that we were experiencing a trend change. By the time I saw this high right here and then this definite higher low, I was like, I've seen this before. I believe today is going to be the day where this guy right here gets broken. So I hopped in here, and this is when it was happening. When was that shot taken? Okay, 10:26 on Friday morning. So cool. A little screenshot on my phone there. All right, so it's happening. Like, woo, and then it's starting to pull back. And then I've got a couple more here as okay, well, I guess I've only got two. So here's where the trade was progressing. So it retracted a little bit, and then apparently it found, gosh, I want to extend that bar so bad, but I can't. But apparently it found support right here, right? And then, well, the rest is history. Now we can, when was that shot taken? Okay, so that shot was taken about an hour later there. And it's creeping back on up. And then the rest is history. So I think we're going to have a little bit of resistance right here, but ultimately it's going to go back on up to this area right here. So cool. When looking at these time frames, I mentioned before that the lower time frames, the 5 and 10 minutes, they break trend all the time. I think the lowest time frame that you can really take seriously is the 15-minute. That's, well, just look at it. All right, so let's go to like the 1 minute, right? That's what a lot of folks use, for trading and scalping and stuff like that. And in the 1 minute and 5 minutes, they all have their uses. I'm not saying that they're not valuable at all, because you can really pinpoint good entries with them as long as they're correlating with the higher time frames. But look, ain't nothing for this thing to break trend. It just really once you think you got it, it just throws you curveballs. So I always go back and make sure everything is jiving with the bigger time frames, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and then 15 minutes. That's a pretty good one right there. But yeah, you just if you're using this to know what trend you're in, you're just it's flying blind. It's people will put blinders on horses where they have no peripheral vision. I have no idea why they do that, by the way. I wasn't raised in horse world, but that's what it is. If we only stay with these lower 1 minute and 5 minute time frames, we really have no idea what the bigger picture is. Let's go out to the 1 hour. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we got a pretty good idea of what's going on now. Yeah. And the thing that has truly helped me, and I want to help you, is it has helped me slow down and just calm my itchy trigger finger that wants to press buttons. And the more buttons you press, the more money you lose. That is a very clear picture of what is happening. Lower low, lower high, lower low. That is a trend. Not still here, it's still a lower high. Wait, this is a higher low right here, baby. The trend is technically broken right there, but it's for sure broken right here. And you can see the market wants to be in a buying mode right here. How long it lasts, I don't know. Just right here, that's the way I'm playing it. I'm gonna be in a buy until right about here, because I think it's naturally going to it's you've got resistance right there. See, this is natural resistance. Could it bust through there on Monday? Maybe. But I think it's going to at least go here on Monday. All right, I think I've beaten this horse long enough. He's dead and buried and gone to heaven. And so, hey, let's go ahead and talk about Psi now. That's what I promised you. That's the whole ICC thing. I just wanted to, I'm in these trades right now, and I'm using the ICC principles. And so let's go ahead and talk about where these principles came from. Hey, thanks for bearing with me, and I hope it's helped you. Okay, so let's check in on our trade. It is actually Christmas Eve here, if I can guide your eyes up here to the upper right. It is creeping up to our goal, which is this resistance zone, this area where, the market pivots. So this is the daily chart here. I have placed an additional trade on top of that has seemed to have caught on. I've had a couple of false starts here. Where I tried to hop on the wave and it didn't work out. So here, let's go back to, let's see, where I had a couple losers, a couple winners, but nothing was really sticking. I would get stopped out, or I would take some profit, you see here along the way. And anyway, I found a good one here this morning, a little bit after market open, about 10 till 10, and was able to hop on the wave and keep riding. So this area right here that you see boxed in, it is not necessarily resistance. It's a pretty cool little trick that I learned. What you do is I am taking the previous day and I block out what that day did. And that's been a pretty good area to find some hidden pockets of support and resistance. I'll get into that later. It's not necessarily an ICC thing, but you see right here. So here's what happened yesterday. I boxed in yesterday, the day before yesterday's trade here. Look, and it came down and boom, it caught on right there. Do you see where my arrow is? That would have been an excellent spot to really hit the gas, to really put something down. I didn't. I just, I wasn't that comfortable. I'm still doing my chicken shit thing. As you can see right here, if I can guide your eyes to the lower here, bounce 499. I put 5 on it. I put $500 in, thinking that I was going to do something really brave, and I haven't. I've been just still sticking to the chicken shit trading style, which is not working out too bad. So let me show you the way it's been progressing here. There we go. So screenshots with my phone here. I believe they're all from today. Come on. There you go. So this is before I decided to get brave and hop in a little bit more. I didn't even know if the markets were going to be open today. But anyway, so that's the way it started here. And here, of course, here's my box here from the previous day's activity. And things got a little better here. I decided to wait. Hold on here. Hold on. Yeah, I think these are just out of order. There we go. Yeah, started growing a little bit, and then started really growing, and then here we are. Yeah, it is definitely making its way up here. So this new trade right here, I've got a stop loss. I don't have a take profit. I have reason to believe that it is going to move past this area of resistance. I don't know when, I don't know necessarily how, but I expect it to hit resistance here. So I'm going to take profit with my original trade. And we'll see how the secondary position works out. I have reason to believe that it's going to go and test all-time highs yet again. Don't know when or necessarily how, but that's the way I see things based upon support and resistance and so forth and so on. And of course we're sticking to the ICC, the indicator correction and continuation formula, which I'll get into here. I keep promising you that, but I have live trades to show you, and those are pretty rare things. A lot of folks teach theory, but they don't show you live trades that are happening right before your steaming eyes, and I've got one. I got a live one here for you, baby. So I wanted to share it, and yeah, by the way, Merry Christmas if you're catching it around the holidays. If not, take it easy anyway.